Welcome back to the EMFT lecture. In this lecture, we will start a new topic, that is a time varying electromagnetic fields, Maxwell equations and magnetic forces. Well, in all the previous lectures, we were seeing what we have seen the static or time invariant electromagnetic field. We have studied electrostatic fields, that is E field, and D field, that is electric flux density, which is also known as electric displacement vector. All the static or time invariant electromagnetic fields are independent of each other. However, now in this lecture we will see the dynamic or time varying electromagnetic field. Electromagnetic field, that is a time varying electromagnetic fields, are interdependent. First of all, let us see how the electric field, that is E, generates. E generates in two ways. The first way is either there will be due to static charge, in second way it will be generated by varying magnetic field. I mean to say that electric field can be generated, can be produced in two ways. Till now we have studied only one ways, that whenever there will be a charge present somewhere in surrounding, there will be electric field. Just like that, a mass, if somewhere mass will be present in surrounding, there will be gravity. In the same way, if the charge is a very fundamental quantity, if a charge will be placed somewhere, then in surrounding there will be electric field. But after the introduction of time varying electromagnetic field, it has been seen that a time varying magnetic field also produce electric field. So now there are two ways to produce electric field. First is by having static charge, and second way of getting electric field is time varying magnetic field. So with time varying or dynamic or time varying electromagnetic fields, two important inventions came in picture. First one is done by Faraday, that is a electromotive force based on Faraday's experiment, and second was done by Maxwell, that is the displacement current. Previously we have seen four Maxwell equation, that was two from the electrostat and two from the magnetostat. In terms of dot and cross, also we can categorize it in two parts. In out of four Maxwell equations, two equations are dot product and two are cross product. If we will write it in point form or differential form, we can write it as del dot D is equal to rho v, Gauss law of electrostat. Del cross E is equal to 0. It is also from electrostat. Second two equations are from magnetostat, that is static fields. Del dot P is equal to 0. Fourth one is from Ampere's law, that is a del cross H equal to J. So, these are the four Maxwell equation. Out of these four, two are from electrostat and two are from magnetostat. These four equations are for static electromagnetic fields, in which both the field, electric field as well as magnetic fields, are independent of each other. However, in EM fields, time varying electromagnetic fields, both the fields are interrelated. Time varying electric field will produce magnetic field, and same way time varying magnetic field will produce electric field. A time varying electric field necessarily involves a corresponding time varying magnetic field, and vice versa. A time varying electromagnetic fields represented by E x y z, it means that it vary with space as well as time. So, we will write E in time varying field as E x y z and t. Same way we will write H also as H x y z t. This value means time varying electromagnetic fields are more practical than the static electromagnetic fields, and due to this time varying only the wave has been discovered. Now, let us see what is the Faraday's law. There are two important Faraday law. The first law states that whenever the magnetic flux linked with a circuit changes, an EMF is always induced in it. Whenever a magnetic flux linked with a circuit changes, an EMF is always induced in it. Means suppose if a coil is moving, suppose here is one magnet, here is a coil. Either from this magnetic flux or magnetic field lines are radiating, and if either of these two will be in motion, then there will be a production of EMF and EMF in this coil, and if the coil will be closed, then there will be a induced current in this. Second law states that the magnitude of the induced EMF is equal to the rate of change of flux linked. Mathematically, the Faraday's law of induction can be represented as this, where this E is the induced EMF, N is the number of loops, d phi by dt is the rate of change of flux with time. Here one minus sign is given, which came from Lenge's law. Lenge's law is nothing but the conservation of energy. Lenge's law shows the conservation of energy. It means the reason here the induced EMF is getting induced or occur due to the change in this phi. So, the induced EMF or generated EMF will work in such a way that it will reduce this d phi by dt, means the result will oppose the cause which make it. Now, we will see Maxwell equations. Maxwell equation is actually the summary of all the electromagnetic laws, all the natural phenomena at a one place. There are 4 Maxwell equations, out of which 2 is from electrostat and 2 is from magnetostat. But here in this I will give all the 3 forms of Maxwell equation for time varying fields. Basically, we can represent Maxwell equation in 3 different forms. The first and most popular form is point form. Point form is also known as differential form. This is known as point form because it is applicable and it is true to every point of the universe. That's why this form is known as point form. That is a del dot D is equal to rho v, where D is the electric flux density, or otherwise it is also known as electric displacement vector. Second is del dot B is equal to 0. The physical significance of del dot D is equal to rho v is that the total flux coming out of a closed surface will be equal to the total charge enclosed by that surface. Similarly, this equation is given by Gauss. That's why it is known as Gauss law of electrostat, because D is the electric flux density. So, it is known as Gauss law of electrostat. In the second equation del dot B, it is also given by the Gauss and it is known as Gauss law of magnetostat. This dot product means divergence of B magnetic flux density is equal to 0. The physical significance of this equation is that no monopole in magnet is not exist. Means if we will suppose there is a magnet, as for example this is a magnet which is having north pole and south pole. It's impossible to break north pole and south pole, or to isolate this north pole from south pole. Every time we will break it again, if we will break it from in between mid point, again what will happen, one south pole will generate here and one north pole will generate here. So this is this equation is just indicating a natural law, that is the magnet can't be break. The north pole and south pole of a magnet can't be isolated. Alternatively, we can say that in magnetostat or in magnetic field, monopole does not exist. However, it can be possible in electrostat. Single charge can exist anywhere in the universe. However, single magnetic charge or magnetic pole can't exist anywhere in the universe. Similarly, third law is del cross E. Previously, we have seen that del cross E is equal to 0. It shows that electric field is 0, is conservative in nature and irrotational. But later Faraday discovered that if there will be any change in electric field, then corresponding, as in the previous slide we have discussed that the electric field can be generated in 2 ways, that is by static charge as well as by varying magnetic field also. So this equation shows that varying magnetic field, that is a dB by dt, this is the magnetic field. Varying magnetic field also produce electric field. This law is given by Faraday. Fourth and last equation of Maxwell is known as Ampere's circuital law. However, here we have considered the displacement current also. There are 3 kind of current: conduction current, convection current and displacement current also. So previously this this was the conduction current and this is the displacement current. So this is given by the ampere. It is derived from an experiment that once Ampere told that whenever a current will flow through a wire, then in surrounding there will be a magnetic field in circular path. But means H dot dl is equal to I enclosed. But later Maxwell came and he saw that if there will be a capacitor, then and this dl if we will take this current is also flowing in between. Suppose if there will be in any capacitor in the circuit, then also the current will be flowing. But if I will take Amperian path here in between these, then here is a no current, still the current is flowing. So in order to consider or incorporate this, we have Maxwell discovered displacement current. So this is the modified Maxwell equation. Now this is given in point form, but as it is applicable for each and every point of space, so integration of this will also be true. So further integration has been made on this and some calculation has been made based on these two theorems, that is known as divergence theorem and Stokes theorem, and with the help of these two theorem and application of these two theorem leads to the integral form of Maxwell equation. The first theorem is divergence theorem, which says that with the help of this divergence theorem we can change volume integral into surface integral, and this is the Stokes theorem, which says that curl of any vector will be, this is a surface, here we used curl. If we will replace this curl, then we can replace this surface with length. In short, we can say that we can change volume into surface with the help of divergence theorem, and we can change surface into line integral with the help of Stokes theorem. By applying these two theorems on point form or differential form, we got the value of Maxwell equation in integral form. Finally, there is one more form which is usually used in wave equations and derivation and calculation of a wave, that is a time harmonic form. With the help of Fourier transform, we can find the Maxwell equation in time harmonic form. This is the Fourier equation in time harmonic form, where according to Fourier the differential quantities like this one and this one can be represented by, means any can be represented by sinusoidal signals, and suppose e to the power j omega t, and if we will take differentiation of this, then it will be simply this quantity multiplied by j omega and the same quantity e to the power j omega t. So what happened, in order to transform point form into time harmonic form, what we have done, we have not changed anything. We have in the dot product, that is a del dot D is equal to rho B is same there, and here also del dot B is equal to 0 is also same. We have changed only the differential term with j omega, means B is kept as it is, only differential term is replaced by j omega, because after differentiating e to the power j omega, the factor j omega always comes in with the original quantity. Similarly, here also we are having one differential term, so we have written del cross H equal to j omega d plus j. So we have seen here Maxwell equation in three different forms, that is a point form, integral form and time harmonic form. Now we will see magnetic forces. Whenever a line, a moving charge will be somewhere in the space, or a line current element IDL will be there somewhere in the space, then in surrounding there will be existence of magnetic field H, and this H is due to either moving charge or due to the presence of any current element. Now the surrounding is having H, magnetic field intensity, or B, magnetic flux density, both are filled. Now if we will bring some other charge in this region, then what will happen? Then that charge, if that charge will move, then that moving charge will experience a force, and if we will bring any other current element in this region, then also that current element or conductor, current carrying conductor, will experience a force. So basically magnetic forces can be categorized into three parts, that is a charge particle, force on charge particle, force on current carrying element, and force between two different wires having different current. First of all, let us discuss the charge particle, force on charge particle. The first, if a charge particle will place in an electric field, then what will happen? That force, electrostatic force will be Q into E, Q into E. Then if the charge will moving, then the force will be Q U cross B, where Q is the charge on the charge, charge of charge, and U is the velocity by which charge is moving. B is the magnetic field density. If a current will place in a magnetic field B, then the value of F will be IDL cross B. We can derive this formula from here also. We know that Q, we will write Q, U we know that dl by dt, we can write U as dl by dt. U is the velocity which is equal to distance by time, so du can be written as dl by dt into B. Now if we will rearrange it like this, dt, then this will give current IDL I, and dl will be as it is cross B. So in this way we can get the value of df. Df will be I dl cross B, and for finding f we need to integrate df. It will give d, and integration of I dl cross B. Now if there will be two different current carrying wire placed apart, then what will happen? The total force up on first conductor by second conductor will be equal to F1 is equal to mu naught I1 I2 by 4 pi I dl1 cross dl2 cross AR21 divided by the distance between two current carrying wires. Suppose there are two wire, I1 is flowing through this, I2 is flowing through this, then this amount of force will act on conductor 1 due to conductor 2. Here in electrostatic force, like charges repel each other, unlike charges attract each other, but here in magnetostatic force, for magnetostatic force, the wire having current in same direction will attract each other, however the wire having current in opposite direction will repel each other. So this is the basic and important difference between magnetostatic force and electrostatic force. Now here is one example in which a charged particle of mass 2 kg is given, a charge value is 3 coulomb is also given, and starts at a point, initial point is given with a velocity is also given. In an electric field is the value of electric field is given at time t 1 second. Determine the acceleration. Well, we know that force is equal to, because here electric field is given, so force is equal to QE. If any charge will go in electric field, then the total force acting on that charge will be QE. But at the same time here mass is also given, so another formula of mass force is MA, mass into acceleration. So with the help of this we can find the value of A will be equal to QE divided by M. Q is given as 3 coulomb, so 3 coulomb. Value of E is given 12 AX plus 10 AY, so this is the value of E. This is the value of mass from here 2 kg. After solving this we can get the value of this much for acceleration. Well, now acceleration is equal to du by dt. The change in velocity with respect to time gives the acceleration. So we have written here du by dt. Now as the velocity is a vector quantity, so it can be resolved into x, y and z component. So we can write u as ux, uy, uz. Differentiation of u can be written in this way. Now as this acceleration, this is nothing but the acceleration, so ux will be this much, ux dux by dt, dux by dt can be written as 18. So ux can be found by integrating it. So ux can be equal to 18t plus a, some constant are coming. So this is the value of ux. Similarly you can find the value of uy and uz also. But initial condition is given here that initially the velocity was 4ax plus 3az. So initial at time t is equal to 0, the value of velocity is equal to this much. So if we will put the value of t as 0, then we can get the value of a as 4 and the value of b as 0, and the value of c will be equal to how much? The value of c will be uz, means c will be 3. So here with the initial condition we can get the value of a, b and c. So if we will put this value in ux and uy, uz, then we can get the value of u as u will be equal to u ax plus u ay plus u uz az. So this is the value of u, and if we will put means u will be equal to ux ax plus uy ay plus uz az. Ux can be written as 18t plus 4 because value of a is 4, ax plus 15t plus 0, ay plus 3 az. If we will put the value of t as 1, we can get the value of velocity at time t is equal to 1. So in this way we got the value of velocity. Finally kinetic energy is there. So kinetic energy, we all know that kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. So this is the magnitude of u. So we can find the value. We already have discussed it in vector how to find the magnitude of this. So in this way we can get the value of kinetic energy also. So in this way we can solve the problem of problem related to x forces. Further it can be extended to find the value of position also. In that case we know that the velocity is equal to d l by dt, means distance by time. So again by applying the same concept of integrating and equating it from initial value, we can get the value of constant, and finally after putting the value of constant we can get the value of generalized we can get the generalized value of distance, and after putting the desired time value we can get the value of distance also for any instant of time. Thank you so much.